All right, so I'm going to show you how you can determine which size watch strap your watch uses. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. One is to simply look up your watch's information online. If you look it up on Amazon or even better on the product's website, oftentimes they're going to tell you which size strap your watch uses. And what you're looking for is the lug width or the strap size, which, the lug width is the distance between the lugs here. Now, the problem with doing it that way is that oftentimes the material that you'll find online is either confusing or sometimes even incorrect. You have to make sure you get exactly the right model for your watch. Otherwise, you might wind up getting the wrong watch size. So that's why if you're uncertain about which size strap your watch uses, it's always better to measure it yourself. So I'm going to show you two ways that you can measure it on your own. First thing we need to do is let's take the stock strap off of this watch. Okay, so now that the strap has been removed, we can measure fairly easily the lug width. And there's two ways that we're going to look at this. The first is if you have a set of calipers, this is the best way. So this will allow you to use this tool to measure the distance right in here. So in this case, you can see that this is a 22 millimeter lug width. So this one is going to need a 22 millimeter strap, a 22 millimeter band to replace it. Now, if you don't have this tool, you can also use a ruler to do it. And in that case, all you're going to want to do is you're going to take one of the straps that you just removed, and you're going to look at the end that connects to the watch. Now, you want to be very careful that you make sure that you measure this end of the watch. Oftentimes, watch bands are going to taper down, so they'll get narrower. So if you measure at this side, you're going to get the wrong measurement. So you want to make sure you're measuring the side that connects to the watch. And then with that, you can just take a regular ruler and just make sure you're measuring exactly there. Let's see, maybe it's easier this way. Make sure you get it lined up exactly right. And you'll be able to see that the distance, or the width of this strap is 22 millimeters. So that's also going to be another way that you can tell that this watch uses 22 millimeter straps. So once you know the lug width of your watch, you can go ahead and go on the Amazon website and choose the appropriate size strap. In this case, it's again 22 millimeters, and you can order your 22 millimeter Ritche strap, which they will then ship to you. And this here is a 22 millimeter strap. As you can see, this is a 22 millimeter strap. Which will fit right on there really well. And there you go, perfect fit. Now, that said, there are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. The first of which is that Ritche straps are only compatible with watches that use a standard spring bar and lug system, which is the majority of watches that are out there. However, there are many watches out there that use a custom watch band, and with these watches, you have to get a watch band that is specifically designed for that particular watch. This is the case with a couple of smartwatches out there. For example, the Apple Watch. You need to get a watch band made specifically for the Apple Watch for that. The Samsung Gear S2 and the Fitbit Blaze, all of these require custom watch bands. And even outside of smartwatches, there are a number of watches that use either a custom band or an integrated watch strap, and so you got to be kind of careful looking at those as well. Particularly there's a lot of women's watches that will use kind of odd-shaped watch bands. So you got to look and see and make sure that the watch that you're using is a standard lug and pin system that will fit with Ritche straps. Another thing to be aware of is that even though the most common watch strap sizes are either 18 millimeter, 20 millimeter, or 22 millimeter, there are some watches that use kind of an odd-sized watch strap. So oftentimes with watches like these, it's more difficult to find a strap that will fit, and you need to be extra careful when you're measuring to make sure that your watch isn't one of these. For example, the Orient Bambino line, which is a very popular line of watches, most of those use a 21 millimeter wide watch strap, which is kind of difficult to find straps for. However, the version 4 of the Orient Bambino line does use a 22 millimeter watch strap, which is much easier. So you kind of got to check if you have an Orient Bambino to see which one you have and really make sure that you're getting a strap that'll fit it. Another example is the Seiko 5 line of watches. There's a whole bunch of different Seiko 5s out there, and a lot of them will use standard 18 millimeter or 20 millimeter watch bands. But there are some out there like the Seiko SNX-S79, which uses 19 millimeter watch bands. If you have a Seiko 5, be sure to measure carefully and ensure that you're picking a strap that will fit with your watch. Finally, here's a listing of some popular smartwatches that are out there that you might be looking for a band for, and the appropriate size band that are required for each one of these. So for the Samsung Gear S3, you're going to need a 22 millimeter watch strap. For the Galaxy Watch 46 millimeter version and the Galaxy Frontier S3, both of those also use 22 millimeter watch straps. However, the Galaxy Watch 42 millimeter and the Galaxy Watch Active, both of those use 20 millimeter watch straps. I hope that was helpful for you and that you're able to now determine exactly the right size watch strap you need. If you follow this simple procedure, you should be able to determine exactly the right size watch strap for your watch and have no problems ordering the correct one.